Well, hello. September is National Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. Richard Bagby and Josh Sloan with the United Spinal Association of Virginia join us this morning to share more about the organization and how they're empowering individuals with SCI to live their best lives. It's nice to meet both of you. Thanks for being here.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This is a really interesting organization, and Richard, you were telling me this started just 2 years ago.
Yes, ma'am. The organization is very young. We got started in October 2015, so we're coming up on our second anniversary of being around the Richmond area.
Let's talk about why it formed and the work that is being done.
The organization was formed because there was a recognized need for peer and family support for new injuries, and there wasn't a formal program for peer mentoring or really an organization that focused on spinal cord injury in general at all.
It's really fascinating because it seems like the demand would be very high, and the impact of having peers to interact with really does make a difference in living that best life.
Absolutely. My injury occurred about 3 years ago, and this young man came to see me in the hospital just about maybe only 2 weeks after my spinal cord injury occurred, and he really stuck with me and helped me get through and really learn how to adjust to my new life. And I mean, there are just some things that you can't learn from a doctor, you can't learn from a physical therapist, you can't learn from an occupational therapist, and you really have to learn from another person who's living that life. And that's something that we as an organization try to provide for every new injury in Virginia.
Yeah. Critically important in opening that next chapter, because this is not something you may have anticipated, and learning from someone who is going through that experience is just invaluable. It's Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month. You guys are doing so much in the community. What kind of message are you sharing about spinal cord injury awareness?
What we want to share with the community at large is that we may look very different, and our lives change quite a bit in an instant. But at the core, we're still the same people, and we still enjoy and do the same things that we were doing before. But it really is just a continuation, and that's what we try to do, is help folks get to a point where they can live their lives as fully as they did before with their injury.
So you're working with perceptions from outside people on this new way of life, and then helping folks in this new way of living live those best lives.
Right, and there is a quick transition from the outside perception to living it. Like I said, it happens in an instant, and typically folks get 30 days of rehab inpatient, and then they are out in the real world. And we are lucky enough to have incredible continuum of care and professionals in the community through folks like Sheltering Arms and VCU and Health South, but they can't see folks throughout the rest of their lives, and so that's where we kind of try to step in and provide examples.
And navigate, because as you said, this happens so quickly in many instances. You don't know what that next step is. And Josh, connecting folks to those resources must be really rewarding.
Right, and we are like a much smaller population than like many other disabilities. I want to say, I can't remember any numbers, but although we're a very visible population because we use like adaptive devices such as wheelchairs and walkers, depending on the person, we are a much smaller population, so it is important for us to like raise awareness and have outreach within the community, because we just don't have the numbers that a lot of other disability populations do.
Yeah. We have about a minute left. Richard, you were talking about, you know, of course it's a very young organization. You're working to get the word out that this is a resource, that it is available. I was looking through my notes. I love that you have a branded stock car in the Valley Star Credit Union 300. That's coming up at the end of the month. That's a lot of fun.
It's very exciting. This is exclusive to CBS 6. We just found out last night a young man and his family reached out, an up-and-coming driver, Mason Diaz, will be racing at Martinsville Speedway on September 23rd in a branded United Spinal Association of Virginia car. So
That's
we're very excited
fantastic.
about that.
That's really great. Well, you guys are young, you're growing, and you probably need a little support. If folks are interested and have been inspired today, they can certainly reach out. We're going to share some information. Thanks for
Certainly
being with
appreciate
us.
it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you being here. If you're interested in learning all about the United Spinal Association of Virginia or making a donation, because they are growing and have a lot of work to do, we'll have a link to more information on our show website, WTVR.com/VTM.